Spalding Trance channel here today for our daily Course in Miracles lesson together. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are doing lesson number 188. The peace of God is shining in me now. Why wait for heaven? Those who seek the light are merely covering their eyes. The light is in them now. Enlightenment is but a recognition, not a change at all. Light is not of the world. Yet you who bear the light in you are alien here as well. The light came with you from your native home and stayed with you because it is your own. It is the only thing you bring with you from him who is your source. It shines in you because it lights your home and leads you back to where it came from, and you are at home. The light cannot be lost. Why wait to find it in the future, or believe it has been lost already or was never there? It can so easily be looked upon that arguments which prove it is not there become ridiculous. Who can deny the presence of what he beholds in him? It is not difficult to look within, for there all vision starts. There is no sight, be it of dreams or from a truer source, that is not but the shadow of the seen through inward vision. There perception starts, and there it ends. It has no source but this. The peace of God is shining in you now, and from your heart extends around the world. It pauses to caress each living thing and leaves a blessing with it that remains forever and forever. What it gives must be eternal. It removes all thoughts of the ephemeral and valueless. It brings renewal to all tired hearts and lights all vision as it passes by. All of its gifts are given everyone, and everyone unites in giving thanks to you who give and you who have received. The shining in your mind reminds the world of what it has forgotten, and the world restores the memory to you as well. From your salvation radiates with gifts beyond all measure, given and returned. To you, the giver of the gift, does God himself give thanks, and in his blessing does the light in you shine brighter, adding to the gifts you have to offer to the world. The peace of God can never be contained. Who recognizes it within himself must give it, and the means for giving it are in his understanding. He forgives because he recognized the truth in him. The peace of God is shining in you now and in all living things. In quietness is it acknowledged universally, for what your inward vision looks upon is your perception of the universe. Sit quietly and close your eyes. The light within you is sufficient. It alone has power to give the gift of sight to you. Exclude the outer world and let your thoughts fly to the peace within. They know the way, for honest thoughts, untainted by the dream of worldly things outside yourself, become the holy messengers of God himself. These thoughts you think with him. They recognize their home, and they point surely to the source. Where God the Father and the Son are one, God's peace is shining on them, but they must remain with you as well, for they were born within your mind as yours was born in God's. They lead you back to peace from where they came, but to remind you how you must return. They heed your Father's voice when you refuse to listen, and they urge you gently to accept his word for what you are instead of fantasies and shadows. They remind you that you are the co-creator of all things that live, for as the peace of God is shining in you, it must shine on them. We practice coming nearer to the light in us today. We take our wandering thoughts and gently bring them back to where they fall in line with all the thoughts we share with God. We will not let them stray. We let the light within our minds direct them to come home. We have betrayed them, ordering that they depart from us, but now we call them back and wash them clean of strange desires and disordered wishes. We restore to them the holiness of their inheritance. Thus are our minds restored with them, and we acknowledge that the peace of God still shines in us, and from us to all living things that share our life. We will forgive them all, absolving all the world from what we thought it did to us, for it is we who make the world as we would have it. Now we choose that it be innocent, devoid of sin, and open to salvation, and we lay our saving blessings on it as we say, the peace of God is shining in me now. Let all things shine upon me in that peace, and let me bless them with the light in me. And that is our lesson for today, lesson number 188. The peace of God is shining in me now. Let's see what Jesus has to say today. You are blessed beings. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and the peace of God is shining in you today. It is merely covered up with some dirt and debris that really does not belong inside your mind. And that is all that is causing you your suffering today. Little ideas, little beliefs, some big ideas and some big beliefs that are terrorizing you into fear. So when you understand this, it is a profound comprehension to realize that the very vital life force, the spirit that inhabits you, the creativity that inhabits you, the love that inhabits you, is your true nature. All of these other prickles and distortions and disturbances are not your true nature. They are ideas that are interfering with your bliss. Ananda is bliss. Love is bliss. Peace is bliss. When you have those moments on this earth, you all have had them, where you are perfectly happy. You may not be doing anything. You may be just sitting on a log looking out at the ocean, or you may be in a park listening to the birds, or you may be snuggled in your warm bed, and you are perfectly, perfectly happy and need nothing at all. And those moments indeed are precious, because they show you that it is not about fancy cars and big bank accounts. It is about peace. Those moments show you that peace of mind is the most precious gift that you can give yourself. So when you encounter these negativities, your short temper, your impatience, your sharp tongue, remember that this is not your natural state. This is something you have learned. This is something that is a distortion. This is something that is a little bit out of order. So we want you to see it that way. Instead of saying, I am a terrible person because I didn't like that person, instead of saying, I am a terrible person because I was short or flippant or sarcastic or whatever crime you commit yourself of, do not see it as yourself. Say, there is one of those aspects that is clouding the clear mirror of my mind. There is one of the little distortions. It is not who I am, although it appears to be. It is an illusion that it is me. It is coming out of my mouth. Yes, the idea is forming in my mind. But this is not the true me. The true me is kind and generous and loving and creative and believes in the truth of these teachings. So even when you doubt, even when you lose your faith, you are leaping onto the side of the ego's fence. And on that side is despair and death and sickness and fear and worry and loneliness. Leap back onto our side of the fence as soon as you feel yourself dipping down, as soon as you feel yourself going down the dark rabbit hole. Do your best to prevent yourself from going down there by picking up A Course in Miracles, or watching one of these videos, or reading one of our dear ones' books. Do your best to prevent yourself from going down that hole. But if you go down that hole, use it as a sound lesson in seeing what's going on in your mind. If you have too much momentum in your negative beliefs and thoughts and ideas, you can be taken down the rabbit hole on a regular basis. But each time you go, ask yourself, what was it that I was thinking the second before I started to go down the rabbit hole? What unloving thought did I have about myself or someone else right before I went down that rabbit hole? And you will begin to see that it was a choice. It may have been an unconscious choice. It may have been a less than intelligent choice, but it was a choice. You had a thought that was unloving, and you believed that thought, and that thought took you into the ego's realm. The next time it happens, if you do this, if you remain conscious and ask yourself, what did I do just before this happened? The next time the rabbit hole leaps up in front of you, you will sidestep it and say, I don't need to go down there. I do not need to make this unloving decision. I do not need to attack myself or anyone else. I need to be free of these beliefs and ideas, and the less I choose them, the less frequently I choose them, the more free from them I will become. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we will speak to you again tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.